When we started this company, AskOkey, I had a very, very clear view in my mind what I wanted to achieve. And it wasn't just to talk about clothing. It was supposed to be a wholesome channel. We talked about 4 pillars. If you go back and watch my earlier video on YouTube, our second video on YouTube, in the introduction, we talked about 4 pillars. We talked about clothing, we talked about finance, we talked about philosophy, and we talked about fitness. And somehow, by necessity, we have been somewhat limited to clothing because that is essentially our anchor in the ground. So if you look at all our channels, all our media platforms, all we talk about mostly is clothing. But there's a lot of demand. We've received a lot of demand from you to broaden out, to talk about other things, because clothing is just a tool, right? It's a tool for self-expression. But what is the self? And how do you build the self? And that is where we start to delve into all these other areas. We have a Discord community, of course, where we have sections and channels that address each of these. But I have never personally addressed or talked about any of these other areas besides clothing. And so here we are, and we are starting a new journey with our subscription channel where we're going to really kind of take off the gloves. We're going to take off the gloves, and the reason is simple. We believe that those who subscribe to the channel do so because they want to know more. They want to learn more. The public channel, we are by necessity constrained because it's public, and sometimes people associate our brand and what we do with clothing. So in many ways, we're compelled to sort of stick to our knitting in the public arena. However, with this subscription channel, those who subscribe, we know, actually actively subscribe because they want to know more, they want to learn more. And so our goal, our objective with the subscription channel is just to make it very wholesome. We're going to be creating special content, unique content, exclusive content that addresses not just clothing, but also lifestyle. Again, we're talking about finance, we're talking about philosophy, and in some rare cases, fitness as well, even though those are going to be less frequent. But fitness, but it's going to be focused on clothing, philosophy, finance, and the idea is to sort of to give you a wholesome sense of what it means to be an AskOkey man. We want you to develop in character, right? Because it's one thing to wear the clothes, but you have to have the character to carry the clothes. And so it's, we're just as much obligated, or we're just as much faced with the obligation or duty, if you will, of, sharing content or developing content that builds your character as much as we are, developing content and creating products that clothe you. So I look forward to this journey, and frankly, I really do look forward to it because I miss the days where I could actually be myself. When we weren't very many of us, even while we were public, it was like a family. It was like a family, and we shared banter, we spoke openly, and sometimes we danced on the edge of things. We weren't cautious. We danced in the wind, and it was fun. As we grew, of course, as with all things, you have more stakeholders, meaning sort of you're certainly much more policed, so to speak. So I personally yearn for a community, a true community where we can be ourselves and be a little bit more expressive. And I think that's what this new subscription channel does, is that because it is an active choice, because people choose to join and actually pay to join, I think that it's a show of commitment to that camaraderie, to community. And it's something that I really, really enjoy. And I hope that I'm able to give you all that you deserve and some more. And that even in that process that we all come to sort of, know each other or know one another a lot more and continue to strengthen the brand. That's it. And I can't wait. I really can't wait for it. We've been shooting a lot of content over the last weeks and months because we want to be ready. And once we get going, we're going to be ready. So we've been very busy. It's been really, really packed, back to back, day to day, week to week, just churning out content because we want to make sure that once we get going, we get going. Okay, thank you guys, and see you at the top, Prof.